So now I want to finish up by actually getting to the text that we have for our devotionals today. And today I want to talk to you about fueling your passion for God. Remember, we just said the Israelites were afraid of God. They wanted Moses to take care of everything, and they were ready to commit, but the actual day-to-day commitment of that desire, that passion for God, waned throughout Israel's history. And so I want to share with you from Deuteronomy chapter 5, and beginning in verse 26, I want to share with you how Moses told them to continue to be passionate about God. It says, "For who is there of all flesh that has heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the midst of the fire as we have, and has still lived? Go near and hear all that the Lord our God will say, and speak to us. All that the Lord our God will speak to you, and we will hear and do it. And the Lord heard your words when you spoke to me. And the Lord said to me, I have heard the words of this people, which they have spoken to you. They are right in all that they have spoken." Verse 29 is the key verse for our devotional today. "Oh, that they had such a heart as this always, to fear me and to keep all my commandments, that it might go well with them and with their descendants forever. Go and say to them, return to your tents. But you, stand here by me, and I will tell you the whole commandment and the statutes and the rules that you shall teach them, that they may do them in the land that I am giving them to possess. You shall be careful, therefore, to do as the Lord your God has commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. You shall walk in all the way that the Lord your God has commanded you, that you may live, that it may go well with you, and that you may live long in the land that you shall possess." So you can see there the sort of, and we'll get into this as we talk more about the law, this connection to the vassal treaties, where a king would conquer a people and say, if you give me tribute, I won't kill all of you. And this is kind of what God does. He says, I'm giving you this land. I'm blessing you mightily. If you obey my commands, if you continue to walk in my statutes, you will live in the land peacefully and successfully. If you don't, then I'll kick you out. And this is what we see in history. And so I want to ask the question today, how do you keep on fueling your passion for God? Well, one of the ways is to remember all of those moments, those God moments that you've had with him. And this is what Moses is referring to. He's saying, listen, who else has heard the living God speak from out of this and live to tell about it? Because we all have, because we're his people. I can assure you, if God was to deal with people who weren't his people, they'd be dead right now. But we're all alive. The powerful presence of God, that moment for Israel, is etched into their memory and into their heritage. And for us, the people of God, I would remind you as a pastor, what was it like when you first got saved? What were you doing for God that you're not doing now? Later on in Revelation, John will be writing to one of the 7 churches a message, and in that message, as Jesus speaks through John, Jesus says, you have forgotten your first love. Therefore go and do the things you did at first. And this is essentially what God is saying. He's saying the people mean well, they say well, they're like Peter in the Gospels. And Peter will go, oh yes, I want to do what God has told me to do. I would go to death for you, Jesus. And yet he doesn't. He runs away and denies Jesus 3 times. And I love verse 29. Oh, that my people would actually do what they say they're passionate to do. The challenge for us today is to actually commit to those passionate moments where we make commitments to God and to follow through with our commitments. To remember every moment, every miracle, every time that God has been with us in those times when we feel that he's not really that close to us. The fact is that God's presence is everywhere and that we have become desensitized to his presence. It's not him, it's us. And so I hope that this blesses you today and challenges your heart. May you have a blessed day in the Lord, and I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 6.